All right, so it says the graph below shows the number of pencils, okay, x-axis being the number of pencils, that the teacher gives per student in the classroom. So I can see that my x-axis represents the number of pencils we have, and the y-axis is representing the number of students with that many pencils. Now, one other thing to note, look at the x and y axis here. I see there's skip counting by twos, but there's still a line between those numbers. So I know between 2 and 4 that we still have 3 and 5 and 7. Okay, same thing along the y-axis. This line right here would represent 1. Then we have 2, then we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, so that's important to note. Even though those x and y axes are not fully labeled, we know what those numbers are in between. All right, so let's read our first question here. If the pattern in the graph, so these ordered pairs, if the pattern in the graph continued, how many pencils would 4 students get? All right, so I want to know how many pencils 4 students would get, but I see that 4 students has not been graphed on there yet. So we need to figure out what ordered pair we would have for 4 students. What I'm going to do is I'm going to list out the ordered pairs we already have. So I'm going to list out the ordered pairs for each of my 3 coordinates that we have on the graph here. So I know an ordered pair has to be written with x first and y second. So let's look at this first one. I can see that the ordered pair for the first one is 2, 1. This makes sense because it's at 2 on the x-axis and it's at 1 on the y-axis. So my first ordered pair is 2, 1. Next, my next ordered pair is at 3, 2. It's at 3 on the x-axis and 2 on the y-axis. I have one more. I see it is at 4 on my x-axis and 3 on my y-axis. So the ordered pair would be 4, 3 because the x-coordinate goes first and the y-coordinate goes second. Now, we want to know what the next ordered pair would be. What we really want to know is it's asking how many pencils would 4 students get. So I know I have to first think about, well, which one is representing students, the x or y-axis? I know my y-axis represented students. So y is my number of students. X is my number of pencils. So I want to know how many pencils 4 students would get. So what I'm going to do is look at the column with students. That's my y coordinates. Okay? I can see it's increasing by 1 every time. So 1, 2, then I would have 4 students. So now I have 4 students. Now, I need to figure out what the rule is from x to y. I can see if I start with x and go to y, we're decreasing. So we're either dividing or subtracting to get y. I see if I start with x and minus 1 each time, that gets me y. So my missing x term is 5. This makes sense because 5 minus 1 equals 4. So my ordered pair here, 5, 4, means there are 5 pencils for every 4 students. So to answer the question, how many pencils would 4 students have? They would have 5 pencils. Because our x coordinate was 5. Okay? Lastly, they tell us to plot this new point. Whoops. They tell us to plot this new point on the graph. So our new point, again, was 5, 4, and we're supposed to plot that on the graph. My x-coordinate is 5, so I'm going to move over 5 units. I'm actually going to plot this green. So I'll move over 5, and I need to move up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to make sure that I'm at 4 on the y-axis. Whoops. I'm going to make sure I'm at 4 on the y-axis. That kind of got a little messed up there. Let me fix that. Okay. I can see that I am. So I have plotted my new ordered pair, 5, 4.